व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं हरे कृष्ण everyone. Okay, so we will continue our discussion on Canto 3, Chapter 16. Amazing. See, one book is completing, right?
Yeah.
So amazing. At least we are completing third book now. Hare Krishna, Sheila Mataji. I hope you are well. And you must have enjoyed the weekend programs.
Yes, I enjoy. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
How are you, Mataji?
I am good. I'm good.
How was your day?
Day always busy.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Once you come to Krishna consciousness, then there is no time at all. All right, so now we will continue from verse 23. Oh, no, I think you read. My marker is on
24,
we have to start from 27.
27?
Right.
Okay, someone wants to give a summary because last Wednesday I was in the hearing mode. I didn't. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, someone wants to give. So this just a little bit so very, very, very sweet discussion is going on between the Kumaras and the Supreme Lord. So in the last chapter, towards the end, Kumaras cursed Jay and Vijay. And then when the Lord heard something is going on at the gate, and he ran without his slippers, and the tulsi, the smell of the tulsi and the flowers on his lotus feet, that attracted the Kumaras so much that they were just astonished, and they just became personalist from impersonalist. Oh, by the way, I heard a little description about the Nimbarkacharya, who the disciplic succession of Kumaras. It's not impersonalism at all.
Yeah, because it's Vaishnavism. So
It's the Vaishnavism, and they worship Radha Krishna. Their mantra is also just like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Their mantra is Radhe Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Like that, yeah. I'll find more about it. Actually, this is now my new project. Like this, little bit more I want to know more about the four sampradayas in a proper way, so that and then we can have discussion one day. Okay, so yeah, so that's what I heard, just like a little bit, because nowadays I try to find something in Hindi for my father and I send it to him. So in that I heard a little bit for a few minutes. So I have multiple jobs now.
The only thing is in the Sampradaya, the followers have to be celibate. In the Nimbarka Sampradaya, the followers have to be celibate, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know so much detail, Prabhu, honestly. Like, I think I should learn about it more. But
that's the only thing I know. That we have to be celibacy. That's why it's very difficult.
Yes. Yeah. That even in the for the Kumaras, that was it. Yes, that was the rule, that they have to be celibate. Yeah. Yeah, but that now how they are following it in the succession, that part I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, so then the Kumaras, the Lord took it upon himself that it is actually not their fault, it is my fault, and I can give up my hand. I am ready to take the dust of the feet of Vaishnavas. For him, Vaishnavas are his Brahmanas, and Vaishnavas are very, very, very important for him. And how all glories that comes to him, it is because of his relationship with the Brahmanas, and even Lakshmi Devi wants to come to him because of that. And then all these statements, then the Kumaras are actually counteracting in the discussion. And then in last few verses, what happened? Somebody wants to tell?
Yeah, Mataji. So what I remember was that again the sages, the four sages, were saying that that he's the protector of the Brahmanas, and if he doesn't protect them, then people will not follow the religious path, and he's the personification of all religion, and like through him, because if we follow him, then we will also the tamas and rajas will go away, and and it was mentioned that he is the maintainer of all the three universes, and it's not like we should not understand that if he is being submissive, that his potency is reduced by anything. It's just his humility. Otherwise, he's the source of everything. He's the proprietor of all three creations, is the maintainer. But through his submissiveness, through his humility, he's showing his transcendental behavior. And they finally understood that they are at fault because they cursed the innocent guards, and they're saying that you can punish them or you can punish us, but they have understood that they have unnecessarily cursed two faultless persons, and the Lord said that it was this was just ordained by the Lord. This was to be, and they will the two guards, Jay and Vijay, will get birth in a demoniac family, but they will come back to the Lord in a short time.
Yeah, so basically, the Lord is teaching by his example, as we hear in the Bhagavad Gita 3rd chapter also. He doesn't need to do all these things, but he wants to teach how important are Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and he's taking that humble, submissive position. It's so many lessons. This chapter is packed with so many lessons. And I really want to read the commentaries of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami on this chapter. We'll see if I can do that and share. All right, so let's continue from verse 26. Someone would like to read? I'll share 1 second. Now.
I can read it.
Mm.
I just have to turn on the lights. Brahmavacha athate munayo ristva nayanananda bhajanam vaikuntam tad adhisthanam vaikuntam cha swayam prabham. Translation. Lord Brahma said, after seeing the Lord of Vaikuntha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the self-illuminated Vaikuntha planet, the sages left that transcendental abode. Purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The transcendental abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita and confirmed in this verse, is self-illuminated. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that in the spiritual world there is no need of sun, moon, or electricity. This indicates that all the planets are self-illuminated, self-sufficient, and independent. Everything there is complete. Lord Krishna says that once one goes to that Vaikuntha planet, he never returns. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha never return to the material world. But the incident of Jay and Vijay was a different case. They came to the material world for some time and they returned to Vaikuntha. Haribol.
What am I looking at a wrong verse? 20.
Yeah, 27, Mataji.
Oh, sorry. That's what I'm saying. I'm not able to find. All right. You want to say something, Prabhu?
Yes, Navataji-san, once the conversation ended with between the Kumaras and the Supreme Personality of God, Narayan, the Kumaras left that Vaikuntha, and then Srila Prabhupada says this,
Hmm.
Often the translation said this Vaikuntha planets are self-illuminated, so we know it is from
Hmm.
the effulgence of the Lord. There is no need of the sun, moon, or the electricity in those planets, and those planets are self-sufficient and independent. Everything there is complete. Which Prabhupada says, Lord Krishna says, once one goes to the spiritual world, he never comes back to this material world. But in the case of Jain Vijay, it was different case because it was ordained by the Lord. But of course, in a short time, they went back to this Vaikuntha
Yeah.
planet in their original
Yeah.
roles.
Yeah, and also we know that how in different other pastimes, other personality go for some time, but they don't stay in Vaikuntha planet. The other who are not yet pure devotees, like Durvasa Muni, um, they go to the Vaikuntha planet, but they don't stay there. So they just come back. But in this case, Jay and Vijay came down for the purpose of Leela, and at some speaker I heard that it was not actually Jay and Vijay, but their expansion. So it could be that also, just like, yeah, I actually asked this question of Hari Parshad Prabhu, and he showed the scriptural reference also. Like when we hear that Swam Bhagavan Krishna descends, meaning Avatari Krishna descends in the Upper Yuga, right? So is it that he's not there anymore in spiritual world and he comes down? No, but
Never lives.
then, yeah, but it sounds like that, because if he swam, he is coming, then it means it is him. So, but then Prabhu was saying that because there are different type of expansions, so it is the Prakash, Swam Prakash basically comes down, just like when 16,108 expansions of Krishna, they are all Krishna, original Krishnas. So just like that. Similarly, the devotee of Krishna, when he wants, they also can be expanded and they come down. Right? Because if Krishna is there also, then when his pure devotees are coming down for Leela, then does it mean that they are not there in spiritual world?
Mm.
So it makes, to me, it sounded, I will probably ask him this question also. Somehow because of time, I couldn't ask this one. So, but I'm going to ask him that also.
I also heard just by the same token, the devotees who are in Lord Chaitanya's Leela,
Yeah,
they are
yeah. They are in
simultaneously
Krishna Lila also, yes, simultaneously. So I remember my Guru Maharaj saying that don't ask me the technology, but this is what scripture say. Don't ask me the technology, how that happens, but this is what, that they are in both Krishna Lila as well as in Gora Lila. In both in the Goloka Dham and in the Shwet
Svetaji.
Dham, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela are going on in spiritual world. All right, let's continue. Next verse short. Someone wants to read?
I can read one.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Verse 28. भगवन्तं परिक्रमय प्राणिपत्यानुमन्य च प्रतीचिग्मोह प्रमोदेता तं शान्तो वैष्णवीं श्रियम्. Translation purpose by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada he said, the sages circumvented the Supreme Lord, offered their obeisances and returned, extremely delighted at learning of the divine opulence of the Vaishnava. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada. It is still a respectful practice to circumvent the Lord in Hindu temples. Especially in Vaishnava temples, there is an arrangement for people to offer their respect to the deity and circumvent the temple at least 3 times.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yes, straightforward.
Yes.
You want to say something?
Yeah, that's it. The importance of parikrama.
Hmm.
Yes, Srila Prabhupada is saying how the sages circumvent the Supreme Lord, and in the temple even they do the arrangement for the Vaishnavas so they can offer their obeisances and do circumvent to the deities at this time.
Yeah, I'm remembering even when Chitraketu Maharaj was cursed by Parvati. He circumambulated and he accepted the curse and went to become a demon. Yeah.
Mataji, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Apart from the respect offering the Lord, is there any other significance in circumambulating the Lord?
Oh yeah, what I have heard about when we do Tulsi Prikrama or any Prikrama, that means we will not be bound in the cycle of birth and death again. So something like that I have heard. The importance of doing any Prikrama is that then we will not be coming back in the cycle of birth and death. Something like that I have heard from His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Swami.
Oh, okay.
You
Thank
want
you.
to add something, Bhakti Vinod Prabhu?
I don't know the details, but I had read in Ramayana that when Ram was leaving for the forest, he circumambulated his father.
Yes,
And
yes.
so Ram, Sita, and Lakshman.
Mhm.
So they are doing also not just to the Supreme Lord, but also to their parents.
Respectful,
Yeah.
respectable. Yeah, that's out of respect. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so
It's two
just
things.
like like when there are vows taken, they circumambulate the fire, yagya fire also, right?
Yeah.
During marriage and other ceremonies.
Yeah.
During the initiation ceremony, we circumambulate the yagya
Yeah.
kund,
The fire.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like when we are taking vows, it's basically uh,
To
it's like
emphasize the importance,
hmm?
to emphasize the importance of taking the vows, that's why you can circumambulate, right?
Yeah, meaning you are actually being witnessed by the fire and all the personalities there,
Mm.
and you are I heard one class from His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Swami. There he mentioned something, but I'm not remembering the whole thing except for this one thing.
Mm.
Then we don't have to take. And this is one of the devotional items in 64 items of devotional service by Rupa Goswami, circumambulating the deities. Yeah. All right, so let's move on. But good question, Prabhu. Janeshwar Prabhu is very thoughtful.
Yeah.
No, you give very brilliant. I mean, you give us nice
I
knowledge.
don't know anything actually. Yeah, someone wants to read the next verse.
I can read Mataji.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Bhagavan Anugva Aha Yata Ma Bhayitstam Astu Sham Brahma Teja Smarthopi Hantum Neche Matam Tu Me. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord then said to his attendants, Jai and Vijay, depart this place, but fear not. All glory is unto you. Though I am capable of nullifying the Brahmana's curse, I would not do so. On the contrary, it has my approval. Purport. As explained in connection with text 26, all the incidents that took place had the approval of the Lord. Ordinarily, there is no possibility that the four sages could be so angry with the doorkeepers, nor could the Supreme Lord neglect his two doorkeepers, nor can one come back from Vaikuntha after once taking birth there. All these incidents, therefore, was designed by the Lord himself for the sake of his pastimes in the material world. Thus, he plainly says that it was done with his approval. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for the inhabitants of Vaikuntha to come back to this material world simply because of a Brahminical curse. The Lord especially blesses the so-called culprits. All glories unto you. A devotee, once accepted by the Lord, can never fall down. That is the conclusion of this incident, Hari Paul.
Wow.
So even though they were cursed, the Lord is saying is glorified, is saying they will be glorified, all glories unto you. And then the Lord can nullify anything and everything. But he's not doing so because he has a bigger plan in mind. He has some pastimes to perform in the material world. And again, it is his will. And because he wanted also, there are many, many reasons why he did this. One of the things that he also wanted to enjoy the Virya Ras. So, and the Jay and Vijay agreed that they would help Krishna or Vishnu to experience that pleasure of fighting. And they were the perfect candidates. So Krishna is approving this curse, and Jay and Vijay they are being asked that they should not fear. They will go back and come back in no time to back to the spiritual world. And it's not possible that you will fall down ordinarily from the Vaikuntha unless there is a higher plan by the Lord.
So this section from 24, verse number 24 to 34 is I think, yeah, 26 to 34 is who is actually at fault, the gatekeeper or Jay and Vijay? Actually, no one. So I'm just thinking about this, that see, in this such a big incident, there is nobody at fault. So basically, we have no right to fault find with anyone, right?
Yeah.
Just thinking, like, yeah, there is no reason for us to find fault in anyone. And even Krishna says, apichet suduracharo bhajte mam ananya bhag sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi sarha. So when, especially devotees, when we see them making some mistake, Krishna says that they are still saintly because they are situated in my devotional service. But a devotee should not take it as a license that I can make any mistake. I mean, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, we shouldn't take it as a license to make mistakes. We should be very, very careful to not repeat any mistake if we have done something. We should be very thoughtful, regretful, and correct ourselves as much as possible. Yeah. Yeah, so from this Leela also we understand that we shouldn't find fault in, because Krishna is arranging things actually. Krishna is arranging everything. Here this whole thing is orchestrated by him only. It's happening by his will because he wanted to experience that Shiva rasa. And another thing I'm thinking also, that Jay and Vijay, they are staunch devotees of the Lord, and they took upon themselves to be called demons, right? To be hated by so many people, right? They just took it because they want to give the pleasure to the Lord in his civil rasa. So that is the level of a devotee that is just like in case of Pandavas and Bhishma Dev and all, they suffered all along, even though they were pure devotees of the Lord. Jay and Vijay, they suffered this kind of infamy, dishonor by being the demons. And similarly, Bharat Maharaj, he went through so much infamy and dishonor, but he is so attached to Lord Ram, even though he is so attached to Lord Ram. So if it is me, then I will just, oh, what kind of devotion, I mean, what kind of Lord this Krishna is. I don't want to be a devotee anymore if so much, so much I have to suffer, so much dishonor, uh, so much disrespect, right? Okay,
Yeah,
so many
very true.
lessons actually. Just I think if we sit and think about it, it's so much nectar, so much. I really want to read the commentaries of the acharyas. Okay, let's move on.
I just want to say something, Madan, if you don't
Mhm.
mind.
Yeah, sure, sure.
I know this last line. A devotee once accepted by the Lord can never fall down.
Yeah,
So,
here also it says, no, here
so
in
we,
this purport just
in our
now.
congregation recently, I mean,
Yeah.
these last two programs, without going into the details, we had a new person coming, a relative speaking new person. So I was just talking to him, and I said, nice seeing you. First time seeing you. He said, yeah, I used to do this in 2009, 10 on, and then I left, and then he came. So So I was telling once you go to Krishna, we may forget him, but he never forgets you.
Yeah. He will forcibly drag you to you.
Yeah.
That's what Srila Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Instruction. If we come to Krishna once, he will forcibly drag.
And he was so happy to be in the program since I said, please
Oh,
come.
nice. Very nice. Okay, so let's read. I think this verse doesn't have purport, so we can just read the translation and then the next one. Someone wants to read?
I
Okay.
can read Mataji.
Okay, sure, Kirti Kumari.
Just translation Mataji.
Yeah, because this doesn't, and then next one, that you can read the next verse and everything. Yeah.
Okay, Mataji. Translation: This departure from Vaikuntha was foretold by Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. She was very angry because when she left my abode and then returned, you stopped her at the gate while I was sleeping.
Mhm. Yeah. So why Jay and Vijay have to be cursed? Yeah, go ahead. Now you can read the next verse.
Text 31. मयि संरम्भयोगेन निस्तीर्य ब्रह्मे लनं प्रत्यस्त्यं निकासं मे कालेनाल्पीयसा पुनः. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
The Lord assured the two Vaikuntha inhabitants, Jai and Vijay, by practicing the mystic yoga system in anger, you will be cleansed of the sin of disobeying the Brahmanas and within a very short time return to me. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead advised the two doorkeepers, Jai and Vijay, that by dint of bhakti yoga in anger, they would be
Delivered.
delivered from the curse of the Brahmanas. Srila Madhava Muni remarks in this connection that by practicing bhakti yoga, one can become free from all sinful reaction. Even a Brahmana sap or cursed by the Brahmanas, which cannot be overcome by any other means, can be overcome by bhakti yoga. One can practice bhakti yoga in many rasas. There are 12 rasas, 5 primary and 7 secondary. The 5 primary rasas constitute direct bhakti yoga, but although the 7 secondary rasa are indirect, they are also counted within bhakti yoga if they are used in the service of the Lord. In other words, bhakti yoga is all inclusive. If one somehow or other become attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he become engaged in Bhakti Yoga as described in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.29.15. Kamam Krodham Bhayam. The gopis were attracted to Krishna by Bhakti Yoga in a relationship of lusty desire, Kama. Similarly, Kama
Kamsa.
Kamsha was attached to Bhakti Yoga by dint of fear of his death. Thus, Bhakti Yoga is so powerful that even becoming an enemy of the Lord and always thinking of Him can deliver one very quickly. It is said, Vishnu Bhakta Samrato Deva Ashura Tad
Vipuneha.
Devotees of the Lord Vishnu are called demigods, where non-devotees are called Ashura. But Bhakti Yoga is so powerful that both demigods and Ashura can derive its benefits if they always think of the personality of Godhead. The basic principles of Bhakti Yoga is to think of the Supreme Lord always. The Lord says in Bhakti Yoga, Man mana bhava mad bhakta. Always think of me. It does not matter which way one thinks. The very thought of the personality of Godhead is the basic principles of Bhakti Yoga. In the material planets, there are different grades of sinful activities, of which uh, disrespecting a Brahmanas or a Vaishnavas is the most sinful. Here it is clearly stated that one can overcome even that grave sin simply by think of Vishnu, not even favorably, but in
Favorably.
favorably, but in anger. Then, even if those who are not devotee always think of Vishnu, they become free from all sinful activities. Krishna consciousness is the highest form of thought. Lord Vishnu is thought. Lord Vishnu is thought of in this age by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. From the statement of Bhagavatam, it appears that if one think of Krishna even as an enemy, that particular qualification, thinking of Vishnu or Krishna, cleans one of all sins. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Very
Wow.
beautiful verse, Mataji.
Yeah, you want to say
तो
something?
नहीं माताजी आप ही एक्सप्लेन कीजिए इसको
Thought
अच्छे
of,
से
no, whatever was most attracted
most
to you.
yes
Yeah, tell
Mataji, so always thinking, if we always think about Krishna and so all our sin, I mean we will be free from our sinful reaction.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
yes Mataji,
But
very beautiful.
it's not pure. Okay, so we know all the time what is the definition of pure bhakti, pure devotional service. Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulena krishnanushilanam bhakti ruttama. Basically, what does that mean is Anya abhilashita means no other desire. Karma or jnana, no desire for fruitive activity, no desire for speculative knowledge, and karma and jnana, no fruitive activity, no mental speculation. Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam. So what does that mean? Anukulena means which is favorable for Krishna, which gives pleasure to Krishna. Krishna Anushilanam means serving Krishna basically, right? So that is pure devotional service. But this thinking of Krishna as an enemy, it's not favorable for Krishna. But it can be considered favorable as well because Krishna has the chivalrous rasa also. So if that is done in with regard to, okay, I want to do this for pleasing Krishna, then it will again become bhakti. Like just example, for example, even Radharani. So many times she goes into that Man Lila. Basically, she gets angry with Krishna. She will get angry only and only when Krishna actually has that desire that Radharani becomes angry with me. So just like the example of Rukmini, I think Adigadadar Prabhu might have spoke about it. So I think he read that chapter in the morning that Krishna wanted Rukmini to become angry with him. He was teasing her, right? That, and what happened to Rukmini? She couldn't take it. She couldn't handle it. She just fainted. And then she proved it in a different way. Okay, whatever you said is right. Because actually, yes, I am not worthy enough to be married to you. But Krishna was speaking in a different way. Krishna was saying that he is just a coward boy, he steals, right? So, and you are the princess. So, but then she proved it in it, just like the Kumaras are doing here. So Krishna's pastime and his Leela is very, very mysterious and inconceivable for us. So, but for us, we should serve Krishna in a favorable way, which will be pleasing for him, not as an enemy, just like Kamsa. But the potency of remembering Krishna is so much. Thinking of Krishna is so much that even if I think of him as an enemy, still there will be purification. And that's what he is. So it's already forecasted by the Supreme Lord here. by practicing the mystic yoga system in anger, because they are enemy of Krishna and they are thinking of Krishna as in anger. Both Hiranyakashipu became a enemy of Vishnu, right? Hiranyaksha also, same with Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and same with Shishupal and Dantavakra, right? So, and this is proven actually. So that's what Krishna is saying to them. Okay, you will do this and then you will be clarified of the sins. And even for our Tulsi Maharani, when we do the parikrama, we say that Yani Kani Chapa Pani Brahma Hatyadikani Cha Tani Tani Pranashanti Pardakshina Pade Pade, right? So even Tulsi Maharani, when we do the parikrama, that can remove the sinful reaction that even after killing Brahmana, the sinful reaction that we will attain, that is removed just by parikrama of Tulsi Maharani. Yeah. So meaning these 12 rasas, if they are done for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, that also fall in bhakti. Right? But for us, for it to be pure devotional service, it should be favorable for Krishna. And again, even the chivalrous or anger can be, it's an example of Radharani and Rukmini, we see that, right? So I mean, it's mysterious. It's mysterious. It's inconceivable. Anything about Krishna is inconceivable. Okay, 8:15. So time to switch. But quickly, the translation of this verse that Prabhupada quoted: persons who constantly direct their lust, anger, fear, protective affection, feeling of impersonal oneness, or friendship toward Lord Hari are sure to become absorbed in thought of him. So either way, whatever way, if we think of Krishna, then actually it is good for us. Yeah. Okay, so let's switch to Bhagavad Gita. Somebody wants to say anything before we switch?
I have like
Yes, ma'am.
very vague question, not very related, but like
Yeah,
uh,
go ahead.
so like if we do some aparad or anything, right? Like they say like, oh no, not sorry, not aparad. Like if we are suffering, then they say like, okay, it's your karma, and then we should accept it as our karma. But sometimes we feel like, okay, whoever the person who's causing us, we should think, okay, Krishna's arrangement and it's our karma, so we should not feel anything about the other person. But is the other person accumulating new karma, or is it like balancing out the old karma, or how to understand? Like,
So, so it could be not just karma, it could just be Krishna is orchestrating to teach us some lessons or teach a third person some lesson, we don't know. But in for us, we should think of it is happening because of our karma. Even though it may not be karmic reaction, it may be just orchestrated by Krishna. But for us, we should think of that it's our karma. Right? Like if we react to it, then it will be binding again. It will again be reactionary. But if we don't react to it, we just, we take the situation in a way that how it would be most pleasing to Krishna in some way, then it will not be a reaction for us. Then the other person will accrue karma who has done wrong.
so our action.
If the other person also, just for example, Parikshit Maharaj out of anger, it seems seemingly anger, he garlanded Shamik Rishi, right? But then Parikshit Maharaj immediately, he did not, and then he was cursed. He did not react to the curse. He just regretted basically that I did wrong, so I am getting the reaction. Similarly, Lord Brahma, he did wrong and he regretted, right? So in that case, then the person who made a mistake, they will not accrue any karma. But the person whoever Shringi probably got the reaction. Nobody else got the reaction. Yeah. So you have heard that story, right? That the bird was flying on top, and then the bird was carrying a snake, and then
The
poison fell
poison,
in the
yeah.
pot. the king was actually serving feast and then
Yeah.
somebody died. So where will the reaction go? People who
Mhm.
were making fun of it or who were blaming somebody, they got the
Yeah.
reaction, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
because everybody
that
was
is
doing their
yeah. Mhm.
everybody the participants were just doing their dharma,
Yeah.
and then there was no decision made or who to
Yeah.
go, and
Yeah.
then whoever was like just gossiping, they got it.
Gossiping, yeah. They got whoever was blaming somebody, they got the karma, right? Because nobody made
Mhm.
any mistake in that case, actually.
Mm, mm.
Neither the king, nor the bird, nor the snake. Then,
Yeah,
okay, where will that reaction go? So, if nobody gossiped about it, then there won't be any reaction.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, anyway, and then karma thing is very, very, very intricate.
yeah.
Very intricate. No one can understand it actually. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, right? That it's very, very difficult to understand. So better that we transcend. We just read the verse in second chapter here, right? Nishtregunya Bhava Arjuna. Rise above the three modes of